Welcome back, everybody, to the Even Your Dynasty show.
We just got breaking news in.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Even Your Dynasty show. We are joined with a special guest today. We have Giants right-handed pitching prospect, Eugene Emerald and San Jose Giant last year, Darien Smith, joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. Excited to talk with you guys a little bit and see what's going on.
Yeah. Well, welcome. I know everybody, we're doing a little bit different this Friday. We had this plan for Monday. We appreciate Darien being patient with us because we apparently all decided to get sick on Monday. And so luckily he was able to push it to today. So I'm going to just kick it off to Dan. We're going to have him for about 30 minutes or so. So if you guys have questions that you want to ask him, make sure you fire away in the chat. We will, try and flag a couple of those and see if we can get to a few from everybody at the very end. But go ahead, Dan.
Yes, sir. Thanks, bro. Darien, hyped to have you with us, bro. We've been planning this for a few months now, so glad we're able to finally get you on. We got a few questions we want to go over, but firstly, we just want to talk a little bit about your come up, just coming up, growing up, getting into baseball itself. So I just wanted to know, firstly, did you have any particular influences, whether it was like family, coaches, or other players growing up, whether it was high school and college, and how'd they shape your approach to pitching in general?
I would say honestly, the biggest role model had to be my junior college coach, Coach Arnold. He played with the Yankees a little bit back in the day. I always thought, in high school, especially, like, I was never gonna pitch. I always wanted to be a hitter. I loved hitting, right? But when I got to JUCO, I mean, I kind of saw like what he was able to accomplish and how he went about things, and he kind of just became a role model for me, I'd say. And I knew like I wanted to be like him one day. So that's kind of where it kind of took off, and then I've just been working since.
Nice. Well, and you had a pretty unique, college path, and you really seem to take off at Southeastern. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about, that journey for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, 4 different schools all around the state of Florida. It was definitely a journey, maybe not the one that I thought it was going to be, but I couldn't be more grateful for it, right? More blessed to kind of go through a little bit of adversity when I needed it, kind of be able to persevere through that. And then, it was always the same end goal, like I want to play professional baseball. And, everybody finds their own path, right? That's the great thing about this game is, you get guys from everywhere that have different backstories, that been to a couple of schools, or maybe fresh out of high school, whatever the case may be. And I think that's what makes baseball amazing is everybody has their own path to get there. And, I'm just blessed to kind of be where I'm at in mine.
Yeah, man. And everyone that's either listening now or that will listen after, listen to these stats: 22-2 record, 2.37 ERA, over 182 innings pitched, and NAIA Pitcher of the Year. Like, that's impressive stuff, dude. So, just curious, like, what was it like transitioning from NAIA over at Southeastern to signing as an undrafted free agent in 2024?
A huge adjustment, right? I think it goes a little bit from, in college, it's more or less like you're grinding, right? You're grinding. You want to get to pro ball, like that's the goal. But you're hanging out with your boys. You're enjoying your social life, and you still do that in pro ball as well. I just think now it's more like the job aspect of it, right? It's like, all right, this is my job. Like I got to be 100% committed, and that's what I've really kind of taken to is like this is what I've always wanted to do, right? So why not give it everything I have? And this is my second off season now, and I think it's just the grind of professional ball is the big difference from the grind of college ball.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. What did what did you learn, or what was your biggest takeaway? Because you just finished your first pro season. What was kind of your biggest takeaway from that? And then also a kind of a follow up to that is obviously you got the promotion from San Jose to Eugene. What was the biggest difference you noticed between those two levels as well?
Okay, so I'd say the biggest takeaway for me personally is surrounding myself with guys that are kind of wanting to be on the same path, right? They want to make it. They want to. They not only do they want to make it, they want to stay, right? And I think for me, I want to gravitate towards that. In San Jose, our pitching coach is Dan Runsler. Guy won a World Series. Guy pitched in the bigs. You see guys like that, and you get to be with them every day. You see, what he brings to the table, his energy, his focus, right? It kind of makes you morph into that a little bit, right? You're like, all right, like this is what he did. This is how he was able to be successful. Why not try to grab onto a little bit of that and run with it, right? And then I would say, the biggest difference from, low A to high A for me, just the climate and the difference from me being from Florida to going all the way out west, right? It's like I've never seen mountains like that. I've never seen, you know, valleys and rivers and all this stuff. So for me, that was the greatest part, right? But baseball wise, I would say, definitely the talent. I mean, especially from college to here, it's everybody's good. Everybody's top of the top. That's why they're here, right? So you got to bring that focus. You got to bring that energy every day, and you got to bring that winning mentality, right? And I think that's just the biggest thing for me is I like to win. I don't like to lose, So
Did you
Yeah.
did you see any difference like with the hitters specifically when you went to, because I mean you had a ton of success at both levels while you were there. So, but did you see anything like with their approach or anything like that?
yeah, yeah, most definitely. I'd say the approach for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like you're always going to have guys throughout a lineup that are a little free swing, and then there's going to be guys that are a little bit more contact oriented, right? But definitely the jump from low A to high A was like, all right, 1 through 4 in low A, like they're gonna do damage. Now, like high A is like 1 through 6, like you really got to be on it. 7, 8, 9, like they're still quality hitters, right? You still got to stay focused. You got to stay on it. But that was definitely the difference. Was like having like a little bit more thump in the lineup, a little bit better of an approach, right? And then going up levels, it's only going to get better, right? So you just got to adjust.
So, with that being said, what particular adjustments did you make to either your arsenal or your mechanics during that transition?
So it's funny, actually. Me and Runsler, we were kind of working on this in low A a little bit. I've always had particularly good feel for a changeup, but I never threw it right on right. It just wasn't part of my bag. Like I would just never throw it. And he started like trying to instill a little bit of confidence in me, like, hey, like, dude, it's a good pitch, man. Just throw it, see what it does. And I remember we were in Rancho, and it was the first game that I threw a right on right changeup, and I threw it. Kid had a bad swing on it, and I looked to the dugout like real quick, and me and Runsler made eye contact, and it was just like a head nod, like, yeah, all right, that's it, that's the one. Now we go. And then so I was able to carry that into Eugene with me, and I think having 5 pitches that I can throw at any time for a strike was a big help, right? Adding the changeup right because I was mostly, sinker slider righties, sinker changeup, maybe dump the curveball lefty. Now it's like all 5 are in play, both sides of the plate.
Nice. Where because you in college it was primarily more just a sinker slider changeup, right? Did you add a couple pitches when
Yeah.
you went to pro ball, or did you have those before? And then
So, I mean, yes and no. Like, I threw a 4 seam in college, but I could at where I was at, I was able to establish the inside part of the plate pretty whenever I want it. And if I was able to just run the sinker in and then just spin the slider, like I tended to have some success. But I knew going to pro ball, like, yeah, some guys can get away with just 2 pitches. I felt like I got to be good with everything, right? And so I added the 4 seam back into pro ball this year, and I was able to create a little bit of different of like a ride and then a run fastball as well. So I had 2 fastballs. It's kind of I can manipulate the slider a little bit, throw one sweepier, throw one a little bit shorter. Then I can flip the curveball. And so I think being able to manipulate the breaking pitches is what has been successful for me, right? Because you just keep throwing the same thing over and over and over again. Eventually, somebody's going to catch on to it. They're going to see it. They're going to see it multiple times. Now they're ready for it. But if you can change the movement a little bit, change the speed, I think you can keep guys off balance.
So you kind of answered my next question with that. I was just going to ask how pro ball challenged or enhanced your ability, because I mean, going back to your college stats, I mean, your strikeout numbers were insane, bro. You had 257 Ks and 182 innings pitched. Like that's elite stuff. So just curious, just based off of the different types of pitches that we're already talking about, is there one in particular that you're looking forward to refining or that you want to work on this offseason?
I've talked to our pitching coordinator a little bit about it, not much, but I really feel like if I add a cutter, just a hard cutter, something moving into the lefty, like kind of on the hands, or maybe even just going hard and a little bit away to the righty, with everything that I already have, like in that tunnel. I mean, if it's good, it's gonna help me. If it's not, we'll bang it and we just keep going. But I want to try it out and I want to see how it works, and I'm excited to get working on it.
Dude, that'd be a nasty arsenal at your disposal. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
Um,
I've played around with the cutter and catch play a little bit. I mean, it's from the feedback I've got is it's there. It's just now I want to put it on the mound. I want to get a guy in the box, get a live read, see what they're seeing. Because that's the best part, right? Is like where I train as, there's a couple guys that have a little bit of big league experience. So, you can throw something to them and you'd be like, hey, like if I'm throwing this to you in the game, like, are you reading that? Like, how are you seeing that? Where are you seeing that? Where are you picking it up? And I think that is also a big tool for me, right? In the offseason is being able to pick the brains of guys that have seen, some of the best pitchers to ever play the game, right?
For
So it's
sure.
like pick their brain, learn how to pitch a little bit, and the sky's the limit.
nice. So, you kind of mentioned earlier, that you have the ability to throw, it feels like all five pitches. What's kind of helped you with like establishing that really high end command? Because I mean, you see it often where guys come up through the minors and they, it's not always, a lot of times the command seems to come later for a lot of guys. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you're a little bit of an older prospect, but you've got, you keep the walks to a minimum. There's a lot of games where you look at your pitch count and you pretty much just filled up the zone the entire game. What kind of helped you get to that point?
Well, so kind of going to what you said, I am a little seasoned, right? I don't want to say too seasoned, but I'm a little older, but I have a lot of innings under my belt, man. I mean, I've pitched a lot of ball. And so I think for me, that's a blessing in disguise because, I had back-to-back college seasons of throwing 100 plus innings, right? So it's like I was able to, and also, I mean, we went to the World Series. I know it's NAI or whatever. We went to the World Series. That's a big stage, and I was able to, kind of perform well. And pitching in the World Series, it taught me like, don't get sped up, man. Take a breath. If you need to step off the mound real quick, take a breath, refocus, lock back in, and just go pound the zone, go dominate. And it's funny. I saw a statistic not a while back, and it was like 1,000 fastballs thrown right down the middle of the zone in the MLB. There's like a 160 batting average or something like that. And you look at that and you're like, man, I'm scared to throw it down the middle. They're hitting 160. Like, what am I doing? Just fill it up.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You
Just
think,
curious. Sorry to cut you off, Cody. I'm
But
just
yeah,
curious, bro, because you mentioned like you had a lot of innings under your belt. Like this wasn't even one of my questions, but did you initially start out as a pitcher, like when you were a kid, or did you play any different sports, or did you play any different positions and you kind of became a pitcher? Like I know this kind of backtracking a lot, but how did you first get into pitching?
yeah, man. I mean, so growing up, man, I played baseball, football, basketball, soccer. Tried to play field hockey, wasn't good. I played a lot of sports growing up. I always like to say to myself, at least, that I thought I was athletic, right? Pitchers are athletic, come on. Um, but getting into, I mean, I played quarterback in football, right? Baseball, I played shortstop, third base. So, typically at those ages, shortstop has the stronger arm on the team, right? That's why they're playing there. They can get the outs. I didn't really ever start pitching until probably like sophomore year of high school, honestly. I really didn't pitch that much. Like I'm telling you, I really thought going to college I was gonna be a hitter, and it worked out differently, and I'm thankful for it. But yeah, it kind of just it happened, and I fell in love with pitching. I love the strikeout. I love getting guys out. So that's how it kind of came about.
Yeah,
Nice.
for sure, bro.
Now, you mentioned in college you threw over 100 innings 2 straight years. Last year, you threw 70. I know you were dealing with a little bit of an injury early in the year, but they had you kind of averaging, when you look at the year, like between 3 and 4 innings a start or an outing, and mostly came out of the pen. Now I know we talked to Charlie earlier in the year or in the off season, and he said that they kind of felt like they had a lot of starters in that San Jose rotation.
Yeah.
Are they still kind of developing you as a starter, or is it a bit more as like a long relief? What do you know what kind of plan they have there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure from the exit meeting at the end of the year this last year, I'm developing as a starter. Like you said, Charlie said, we had 8 guys that were kind of ramped up to start. So there was 3 of us that we were piggybacking mostly, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look like Charlie, me, Swatowski, like if you look at our innings out of the pen, we didn't really come in for like a 1 inning or 2 outs. You know what I mean? Like it was always like an extended relief outing, right? And I think that was just part of helping us get our innings in, helping us build our arms up, because they are working all 3 of us as starters, even though we were coming out of the pen, right? And then you saw kind of late in the year, Charlie was starting, Swatowski was starting. I got a couple starts in, so that was really cool to see.
Nice.
Hey, Darien, really quick, before we move on to the next question, are you hooked up on Wi-Fi by chance? Or can you?
I'm not.
You're,
I don't know what the Wi-Fi is here.
okay. Now your quality just cut out pretty bad on that last one, so I just want to make sure your connection was okay.
Yeah.
Let me step out of this room real quick.
Yeah. No sweat.
No, you're
Sorry
good.
about that.
No, you're good. It was good, and all of a sudden it just got a little bit grainy on you.
Let's see. How's that doing?
Let's let it refresh for a sec.
Yeah.
I think it's clearing up a bit.
I do hear like a little static in the background, I think.
Yeah, just a tad.
It's not too bad. I think
it's going to buffer out. It's a little better.
Yeah.
That complex is nice wherever you're at, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what the Wi-Fi is here, man. I wish I did. It'd probably help.
That's all good.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Would you have, Cody? Do you have another one?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna follow up. Like, did you feel like at the end of the year, did you feel like you were building up pretty good? Because I know I saw some outings where you were up around 60, 70 pitches towards the end of the year. I think you threw 5 innings in Eugene, your last start. Do you feel like they're going to keep ramping that up though?
Yeah. I mean, towards the end of the year, I kind of really started extending a little bit more, right? 4 innings, 5 innings, like you said. And that was honestly the best I personally felt all year, was like once I really started, getting able to extend the pitch count a little bit, the arms started really catching up with me. And I think that also like helped me sustain the success throughout the end of the year.
Nice, man. So I want to go back because you mentioned one of our friends of the show, Charlie. Just curious, what's it been like sharing the mound with guys like Shane Rodemaker or Charlie McDaniel or guys like that? Like, what's it been like sharing the mound with them and just overall becoming friends and pitching with guys like that? And then a second part to that, was there anything in particular you've learned from your own teammates or any particular pitching coaches this past year?
Yeah, I mean, sharing the mound with, kind of every arm that we had at both levels, right, was was great. I mean, everybody's throwing it well, especially, the Sanho class. I mean, our class that kind of came in, we had a ridiculous staff. I mean, Hunter Dryden's crazy. Mazda's crazy. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool being boys with them, right? Because you get to see them go out and dominate, and then you get to cheer them on. And then at the same time, while you're out there, they're also rooting for you as well. I think that's the biggest part, right? Is like having that family oriented aspect of it, right? Is like you want to succeed, but you also want to see your boys succeed. And I think that was the best part that I think all of us did particularly well.
Yeah, dude, that Sanho team they're fun, man. They're special.
Yeah,
Lots
they
of
were.
fun on
Yeah,
there.
that was a good time.
Nah, for sure. So just looking back at this past year, bro, is there like a particular highlight of the season that stands out or just like a favorite moment to you?
Yeah, I would definitely say there's two of them, and it's both for me. It was both times when we clinched with Sanho, and then when I got to clinch with Eugene for the playoffs. Both of those nights were just great nights with the boys, and after the game, celebrating in the locker room and stuff. I'll always remember that.
Nice. Okay, who's the funniest teammate on either team? Doesn't matter.
Funnies. Oh man, there's a, there's a lot of characters in there, man. Let me tell you. Luis De La Torre. I mean, that guy. That's a funny guy right there. That guy's good. Yeah, I'd have to go Luis. Yeah.
We had him on the show a few weeks ago. That dude's he's awesome.
He's great. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I would say he was super funny, and then so is Jank. Jank was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Jinx is awesome as well.
We
Yeah,
we've had a lot of people.
There's so many guys that are just.
Too.
Yeah. There's so many just good souls on the team. You know what I mean? Just good guys, good human beings.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's see. We got a couple questions from the chat. I've got like 3 more. I think Cody's ran through a lot of his.
Yeah, I got a couple left.
Let's. Cody, do you have one that can lead into these last 3 that I got?
Would probably have helped if I had them open. Let's see. So okay, actually, I got one that it's kind of similar, but because somebody's asked us to a few of the other pitchers in that have come on here with us, if you could steal one pitch from any of your teammates.
Oh man, it's got to be Dryden's fastball.
We've heard
got to be Dryden's fastball.
Yeah,
I mean that thing's elite, man. It's actually elite.
Did you see his? It wasn't the clincher for them, but it was, I think, the first game in their championship series where he came out of the pen and had like 10 strikeouts and 4 innings or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, he's ridiculous, man. He's it, man.
Yeah, his slider's nasty too. Just both.
Yeah. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
No, for sure. So I've got a few like random questions here. So first one, we've talked with a lot of your old teammates about both, pregame rituals, whether it's, I don't want to say abnormal. I don't want to make fun of Charlie like that, but different, we could say. Charlie throws up before every start.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Love Charlie, but that definitely caught us off guard when we asked. Do you have any? Do you have any type of little pregame routines or little rituals?
I mean, I wouldn't say any like rituals. Probably routine wise, just if it's start day, just throw the headphones on, kind of get in that zone. I usually hit like the hot tub, kind of loosen up the body with the headphones on. Really just try to lock in, get ready for the outing, get ready for the game.
So what's in the playlist on game day?
We got so when I first I'll tell you, when I first hop into the hot tub, I'm trying to relax, cool down a little bit. I'll throw some Morgan Wallen on, just kind of vibe out a little bit, and then once it's go time, it's we got Dolph on there, we got Key Glock,
Yeah.
we got the hard hit on there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you get you in that zone, man. Get you ready to go.
You get that hype.
When you're
Yeah,
because you pitched out of because you piggybacked a lot last season. How does that impact your routine on a day? Like, do you start it a little later, or do you have because you never really know exactly when you're going to come in versus a start? It might be the third, fourth, fifth,
yeah,
sixth.
for
How's
sure.
that impact?
I think and that kind of goes back to the one question you asked me. What's been a big adjustment, right? So like the past 2 years of college, Friday nights I pitched every Friday night for 2 years straight, right? So it's like I had the same routine Monday through Sunday, 2 years straight, right? And then I get to pro ball, and it's like I'm piggybacking on a Thursday, and then I'm piggybacking on a Wednesday, and then a Tuesday, So it's just jumping around and trying to make sure that the routine's staying similar. But game days, it's kind of like I'll be in the dugout probably for the first inning, maybe the second inning, just because, we got faith in the guy. We got faith in the starter. He's going to at least get us 4 or 5, right? So it's like I'll be down there first, second inning, third inning, depending on the game, whenever I go down. But I'll go down, I'll start stretching a little bit. And then, at that point, it's kind of just watch the game, like see how the game's flowing. If he's shoving, don't pick up a ball. If he's in a little bit of trouble, get moving around a little bit, wait for the call down, and then once he calls down, it's go time.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, that makes sense. I noticed that as well as far as the piggybacks were concerned. So good question, Cody. So I just got a couple last ones I want to ask before we get to the chat. So I mean, truth be told, you've been kind of like an under the radar guy in the system, but like we've talked about, you've got some major potential, bro, and some elite stuff going back to college. So just curious from Darien Smith's standpoint, like where do you see yourself within the next 2 to 3 years? What are your goals for yourself? And ultimately, what's your goal with the big league club?
Right. I mean, ultimately, goal with the big league club is to one day be a part of a World Series championship, right? Like that's the biggest goal. But personally, within the next 2 or 3 years, obviously, I want to be in the bigs. I'm going to work to be in the bigs, right? I'm gonna give it everything I got. I really just, as long as I work hard, as long as I give it everything that I got, I'm accomplishing all the little things, all the big things, right? It's like if I'm putting myself in the position and it doesn't happen, it's all right. I know at the end of the day, I gave it a shot, right? If it does happen, say a prayer, thank the Lord, and then go get it, right? So it's God's plan, man. Whatever happens is gonna happen,
Amen. Amen to that. Yeah, I mean, we'd love to have you in San Francisco here in the next couple of years for sure, dude. Like,
yeah, man.
we need that strikeout mix you got.
Come on.
Have you been to Oracle Park yet? Like, because I know you're from Florida.
No, I
so
haven't.
It's a long trip.
Yeah. I've only heard amazing things about it, and one day I'm gonna get there, man. One day I'll be throwing there, so
Yeah.
we'll enjoy it then.
Nice, love it.
All right, I got 2 last questions here, just so some fans can get to know you a little bit more. Outside of ball and pitching, what are your go-to hobbies or anything you like to do in your free time?
I mean, I love to hunt, right? I love to fish. I like to be outside. I grew up hunting a little bit, so I'd say, you asked me my hobby is definitely hunting, man. If I can, spend a weekend in the woods, kind of get away, put the cell phone down, that's where I'd like to be at if I'm not on the field.
Now, what are we hunting for? I got the 30-06, bro.
Come on down to Georgia. We'll go get us a little buck.
Let's do it, bro.
Nice.
A little whitetail.
Yes, sir. Just
Already
get a
know
little,
more, Dan.
yeah, let's get a little 10-pointer, Darien. No big deal.
Yeah, just a little one. I got you.
All right, my last question that I had was if you can give one piece of advice to a young pitcher that's dreaming of getting to where you're at, what would it be?
I mean, the first thing I would say personally is just, keep God first, man, right? Like trust that he's got you, he's had your path planned out since the beginning of time, right? So like I said earlier, whatever happens, you kind of just got to go with it and trust it. On the flip side of that, work hard, right? Be disciplined, you know, always want to be great. I think that's the biggest thing is never settle, right? You might be good in high school, but there's, you know, 20,000 other kids that are good in high school. There's always going to be somebody better. So you just got to keep working, got to keep going. And, I've kind of lived by those two words the last few years of keep going, right? I've had a little adversity in my life, like the journey, right? A little bit of adversity. And at the end of it, man, I just kept going and I keep going. So that's what I would tell them.
That's good advice. Just curious because I'm a man of faith. I got one of my own. What's your favorite verse?
Man, it's got to be John 13. You do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you will understand. And it just goes with keep going, right? You just keep going, man. You'll understand it eventually.
Crazy. I literally was reading that like 45 minutes before we hopped on here. That's wild.
It's crazy how he works, man.
Right. Amen to that too. Those were all the ones that me and Cody had. We have a couple in the chat though. Some viewers wanted to ask you, so we'll ask these and then we'll get it wrapped up, man. We've loved having you on. So
Yes, sir.
our homie Bake That Dough asks, which current major leaguers would you especially love to face?
That's a great question. I'd really love to face Ronald Acuna. I think he's a great hitter. I think he has. That's a guy that's he's at the top, man. I mean he's really done it. He's done it at a high level, and I'd like to see how I kind of stack up to that, and go after him a little bit, right? See what he's got.
You wanna hit him with that changeup, make him miss, huh?
There it is, a little right on right. Come on.
Yes, sir. All right. Another one we got here is some Mark Gravy Graves. How long does Darien think it'll take him to make it to the show?
Man, it's, at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be up to me, right? But
It's not your time. Nope.
I hope to be there within the next 2 years, man. I mean, next year if I can, right? As fast as I can, man. I'm trying,
dude.
Man. I'm gonna get there.
Yeah, with your command, I mean that's definitely a recipe to move quick. So
Yeah.
for sure.
That's something that we talked about with Shane a couple weeks back. Just the team and the system, they prioritize and emphasize command. So I mean, if you've naturally got really good command, like you've already got a step up as far as an advantage to you. So just keep grinding, bro. You got the stuff, you got the talent, you got the support, man. So we're happy to see and know how far you go and what this next upcoming season's got for you.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got one more I'll throw at you. This is just kind of a personal question. Sometimes people they'll ask it in the chat, but you have a favorite baseball movie?
Favorite baseball movie? I mean, it's got to be the classic, right? The Sandlot. I mean, just the boys out on the field. No coaches, no nothing. Just having fun. You know what I mean?
It's awesome.
Love it, man.
Oh, the classic.
Classic for sure. But yeah, I think that's all we got for you, man. We wanted to keep it within that 30-40 minute mark, and we're at 35 minutes, so perfect timing. Really just wanted to get to know you, get to know your story, get to know your upcoming, and just get to know a little bit more about you in general, bro, as far as like this past season. So we really appreciate you making the time to chat with us. And yeah, dude, we'll be in touch for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciated the time.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Darien. Appreciate everybody that stopped by today to come check it out. Make sure you go watch Darien wherever he might be next year. Maybe Eugene, maybe Richmond to start the year. So make sure you go check him out next season. And I think that's all we got for today. We'll be back. I don't know if we'll be back Monday or not. I don't know if we have anybody scheduled yet for Monday. We'll figure that out. If we do, we'll announce it to you guys. Otherwise, you will see us probably next Friday night. But yeah, go Giants.
Yeah, just hang tight for like a minute or two, Darien, and thank you again, man. We hope you have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.